Hey there, adventurers! Have you ever wondered what happens to all the treasure in the world that isn't on pirate ships or buried on deserted islands? What if I told you that there's more treasure hidden away in the world today than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes? Yes, you heard me right. We're diving into a sea of hidden treasures worth over $8 trillion. That's enough to buy every single chocolate bar, skateboard, and video game in the world, and still have enough left over to buy a spaceship. But here's the twist. This isn't about pirates or treasure hunters. It's about the world's biggest companies and the wealthiest adventurers among us, figuring out ways to stash their treasure without breaking any rules. From magical islands like Bermuda to the bustling streets of Ireland, we're embarking on a journey to uncover how these treasures are hidden and what that means for adventurers like you and me. Want to know how they do it? Curious about how you could maybe stash your own little treasure? Or perhaps you're just here for the thrill of the hunt. Whatever the reason, grab your map and your most comfortable walking shoes, because we're about to embark on an adventure that will change the way you see the world's wealth. And who knows, you might just find a treasure chest of knowledge waiting for you at the end of our journey. So, are you ready to uncover the secrets of the modern-day treasure islands? Let's set sail. And hey, don't forget to hit the like button and please subscribe, because this adventure is one you won't want to miss. Welcome aboard, treasure hunter. Let the journey begin. Imagine a huge treasure chest, bigger than anything you've seen, filled with money from all around the world. How much do you think is in there? Tons. We're talking about over $8 trillion. That's like if you had $1 for every star in the Milky Way and then some. Now, why would anyone want to hide so much cash? You might think they'd want to flaunt it, buy flashy cars, or live in gigantic houses, right? But here's the twist. It's not just the mysterious folks doing this. Big names like Apple, Microsoft, and Google, along with their big bosses, are in on it too. And the shocker? It's all by the book, perfectly legal. But hang on, isn't dodging taxes supposed to be a no-no? Imagine you baked a giant cake, and it was so delicious that everyone in town wanted a piece, making you $100 million rich. Amazing, isn't it? But then the tax collector comes knocking, wanting 21 million of those dollars because that's the rule. Businesses have to give back 21% of what they make. That's a huge chunk of your cake. And it was even bigger before, at 35% until the rules changed. Plus, if you try selling your cake slices in places where you can keep more of the money, the tax collector still wants a piece of those sales. Sounds tough, right? Is hiding your cake slices fair or not? Well, opinions vary. Drop your thoughts in the comments. But it's not all bad news. You can keep more of your cake without breaking any rules. Imagine saying you only sold $30 million worth of cake, so you only have to share $6.3 million with the tax collector. Sounds sneaky, but it is possible. Picture flying to a place like Bermuda and opening a new cake shop. It's easy and cheap. You don't even need a real kitchen, just an address. Then you tell everyone that your original shop owes the new Bermuda shop $70 million for using its secret recipe. So technically, you only made $30 million. Now you only owe $6.3 million in taxes, and the $70 million in Bermuda? It's tax-free, because Bermuda doesn't ask for a share of your cake sales. Just like that, you've saved a big slice of your earnings. But what about the cakes you sell in Europe? Suppose you opened another shop in Ireland that also did super well. So after your cake shop success, imagine you've now got a special kind of cake that everyone in Ireland loves, making you another $100 million. But instead of sharing a slice of this cake, 12.5% for Ireland, and then another 7.5% to the US, you find a secret tunnel to the Netherlands, where you don't have to share any of it, thanks to a magical loophole. Your Dutch cake shop quickly passes the cake back to your Irish shop, which is actually part of your Bermuda cake empire. And just like that, all your cake is safe in Bermuda, with no one asking for a share. This is exactly how the biggest cake shops in the world, like Apple and Google, keep their cakes without sharing too much. Saving a small slice of cake is cool, but when you're baking billions of cakes, saving a billion slices is a huge deal. So the changes in the cake sharing rules don't really bother these big shops. Why share 10% in the US when you can keep it all in Bermuda? They're just doing what they do best, making and keeping as many cakes as possible without sharing too much. But here's a twist. Having all those cakes in Bermuda is great, but not if you can't enjoy them without giving away a big part of them to bring them back home. Yet, there's still a clever way around this. When it became easier to bring cakes back home because the sharing rate went down, like from 35 to 21% in 2017, these cake shops started moving their cakes back to open new shops in the US. That's why you saw Apple suddenly with so many cakes, buying back its own cake slices in a way no one has seen before. They had so many cakes and found a smart way to use them without sharing too much. Big cake shops in the US like Boeing, Netflix, Amazon and General Electric have become masters at keeping their cakes. From 2008 to 2017, Boeing shared only 8.4% of its cakes, and in 2018, Netflix made 845 million cakes but didn't share any. These shops get really big by baking a lot and expanding quickly, sometimes even borrowing cakes to grow and take over the cake market. At the end of the year, they might say they baked less than they actually did, which means they don't have to share any cakes that year and might even keep more cakes for themselves in the future if they bake more. It's a smart trick. The cake sharing rules have many secret doors that shops use to keep more cakes, like special cake baking contests and giving cake bakers shares instead of cakes, which helps them keep even more. For example, a shop like Uber is known everywhere and bakes billions of cakes, but has never said it made any cakes at all. It's like they've got a huge pile of cakes, but on paper. They're saying, nope, we didn't bake any profit cakes. Even if their cake shop is worth more than $100 billion. They don't need to share any of it unless they officially say they've made profit cakes. This is also why super rich people love keeping their treasures in stocks, like treasure maps. Take Jeff Bezos as an example. He kicked off 2018 sitting on a treasure chest of $100 billion, and by the end of the year, he found another $40 billion in treasure. But he didn't share any of that extra treasure because it's all in Amazon treasure maps, stocks, and he only needs to share if he decides to sell those maps. If he keeps them, he keeps it all. But you might think, what's the point of having all that treasure if you can't enjoy it? Well, when you have $140 billion in treasure, your wealth grows with your treasure hunt company. And if you want a shiny new car, a flying ship, private plane, or an adventure to an exotic island, fancy vacation, you just write it off as a treasure hunting expense, which means you get to keep more of your treasure. When people talk about making the rich share more treasure, they often end up asking the hard-working adventurers like healers, doctors, lawkeepers, lawyers, and creators, engineers, to share more. Even though they don't have treasure chests like the super rich, the really, really rich folks often find secret passages to keep more of their treasure. Think about this. In a world where treasures are hidden but behind digital fortresses and legal networks, what role do we play? Are we just spectators, or are we potential treasure keepers, learning to navigate these waters ourselves? In our next adventure, we'll dive deeper into the world of treasures that aren't just gold and jewels, but ideas, innovations, and the very future we're all heading towards. We'll explore how the guardians of these treasures, from tech wizards to business giants, are shaping the world we live in. And, most importantly, we'll discover how we too can become masters of our destinies in this treasure-filled world. I want to hear from you. Yes, you, sitting in front of the screen. What are your thoughts on these hidden treasures? Is it fair play in a game of wealth and power? Or is there a better way to share the riches of our world? Drop your thoughts, your questions, and even your own treasure tales in the comments below. Your voice is part of this adventure, and together we can uncover even more mysteries. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this journey through hidden treasures and secret maps, share this video with your fellow adventurers. Spread the word, and let's make this journey one for the history books. Because, my friend, the next treasure hunt could lead us to discoveries beyond our wildest dreams. Thank you for joining me on this incredible expedition. Stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, the world is full of treasures waiting to be discovered. Until next time, keep your compass close, your eyes open, and your spirit ready for adventure. See you on the next treasure hunt, and here's to your investing success. Profitable investing.